welcome back to day 55 of my 100-day health challenge. Today has been a very relaxing overall, kind of lazy day. Actually, I've gotten a lot done too. It's just been kind of one of those days where I probably didn't get as much as I wanted to, and I'm a little bit of a mess. Been trying to get things just straightened and organized for the week ahead. I have a super busy week coming up, so it's kind of been like a contemplative day, thinking through all the things that I have to do, meal things that I could be doing. Like I said before, I'm coming up with strategies for this week of how I can succeed in maintaining healthy habits with the busy week ahead. And so a lot of that has to do with meal planning, meal prep, snacks I can take, easy meals I can have but that are healthy and nutritious, how I can get movement in there amidst all the busyness. So I've been just kind of throwing some ideas around. I think one of the biggest things about nutrition is that I'm going to have to be prepared ahead of time. And part of the problem is that I didn't get to go out shopping today or do any cooking much because I was, so distracted. And I actually ended up sleeping in a little bit, not long, but a little bit. And then was busy doing things here around the house, catching up on that, doing some work, prepping other things for this week. So I haven't really had a chance to go out. One thing, so today's meals have been healthy though. I had eggs and bacon for one meal, and then a broccoli cheddar soup and a little bit of bread for one meal. And then one meal we are splurging a little bit on. My mom, I said my mom is visiting this week, so she got in today, and stopping here first and then going over to my sister and brother-in-law's house for part of the week. And so what we're doing is we're ordering from one of our favorite local places. It's a really, really good local Vietnamese restaurant, and it's so nice to support local anyways, but they're just like one of the best restaurants in town. And so we are going to, so we placed an order and just waiting for that to get here, and that's going to be dinner. I got like a shrimp thing, and then we usually share like a rice dish and everything. So, and I did get an extra entree, beef one, partly just, is kind of, well, so we each got 2 entrees to sort of last as leftovers and to take over when she goes over to my sister's house. And then also, so I got 1 shrimp one and then 1 beef one, kind of as a little bit of an indulgence. I feel like this week has gone pretty well overall, but it's also been a little bit of stressful in the beginning of the week. So I felt like doing a little bit of a reward, especially now that my stomach is feeling a little bit better, that would be okay. And, so I'm going to have that as leftovers. As far as things here, I have some bacon left. I try not to do too much bacon just because of the sodium content, and a lot of the it's good in some ways, and then just also pork though can be so heavy, and so this is pork bacon, not turkey bacon or anything, so I try to minimize how much of that I have. I haven't had any in a couple weeks, so I feel like having a little bit now is not going to be a huge deal. I have lots of eggs. So again, one of my coworkers, her son, is part of his own little business that he started running. He's in elementary, but he is so cute, and he is coming up with these great, it's just adorable how he's like this little businessman. He's coming up with his own business, to do these, to basically, help sell their eggs, from their chickens. And so he helps take care of them and do a lot of the business things and work with his parents to sell them to teachers and staff at the school. And so I actually have some leftover, but I probably will get some more from them tomorrow. They usually ask on Sunday if anybody wants eggs for the weekend, and they bring them in on Monday and leave them in the fridge, and people can take them home. And they'll label them with your name and everything. And so, and then it's so clever to, for his age, he's just starting to use, starting to learn the business skills and everything. So what they do is, instead of doing individual invoices and all that, what he's doing is he's created, with the help of his parents, he created like a little invoice where you only pay after the first 5 dozen eggs. So it's like $4 a dozen. And so then he will send they have a little invoice they've created that after 5 dozen, you pay $20. And so it's kind of nice because you can just hand them a 20, or, whatever you want to do, you could do a check or anything. But it's kind of fun because for him at his age, a 20 is an easy one, and it's easier to track than doing like every single time someone orders getting a $4, with his age range and everything. And so I thought that was such a cool idea. But so he's got his own little business going. And just as a kind of a little just fun thing, it's nothing, huge or anything, but it's a fun, like, I think it's really good for kids to be learning business skills and financial skills early on. A lot of responsibility learned with dealing with money and that's one of the financial health things, honestly. I think it's so good for us to learn in our youth and like when we're younger, how to handle money and already be learning about saving and, giving and putting it aside and then paying your bills first, like if you have things you owe and stuff. And I know kids don't really owe anything much, but sometimes they have, they can help understand their order, like their lunch accounts or their milk money accounts. And, for schools that still do that and things. And I think it's good to teach them early on as part of financial health, this respect of not being obsessed with it, but being aware and respectful of, I don't think it's healthy either for kids to be so obsessed with money early on, but I do think it's good for them to learn responsibility, self-government, understanding how to make money, manage money, using it wisely. I know a lot of the classes do these fun little store things at the end of the year, and they learn about money management and finances. And of course the high schoolers have a personal finance class and things, but I think that's all part of financial health. But anyways, so as far as planning ahead strategies for this week, like I said, I have eggs ready to go. I have bacon. I have some fruit. I am wanting to go to the store and get probably some chicken and turkey. I'm not sure exactly what recipes I'm making yet, but I think something simple and easy, like a vegetable, a protein, and some kind of other side to go with that. Would be good for easy, simple meals. And I want to parse them out ahead of time, put them in little containers and have them ready to go that I can just take them to school. Honestly, I kind of want to take a little bag. I know the teacher's lounge fridge is getting kind of full right now, but what I would really like to do is take a little bag of, labeled with my name, but have 5 or 6 lunches or meals already prepared. That way, if I happen to forget a meal or end up having to stay longer than I thought, and I will be spending a lot of the days there for drama anyways, so I think that's what I'm gonna do is just put them in. I have these little containers. I think I've taken a picture of it before, but I have these little containers. They're glass, and they're really well sealed. They've got more of a plastic lid, but they're really good. They keep it nice and fresh. They can go in the freezer and the fridge, so I'm hoping to measure those out, have portions already made out, and they stack nicely, so I can put them in a little bag, put them in the fridge, have my name labeled on the bag, and have that ready to go. I want to take, I usually take some form of nuts. I have some walnuts, I have cashews, and then I have actual, I think, peanuts, maybe some pecans, and almonds. I love keeping different ones around, but those are always a good source of a snack when you need it. I probably won't take fruit to the school just because sometimes, it's easy to forget the fruit or vegetables are in there and you don't want them to go bad. If I did, I would take something like maybe blueberries, or some cucumbers, something simple that I know is going to stay pretty well in the fridge. I might even take some drinks with me, have some teas and some iced teas and maybe some sparkling water. I know there's sparkling water in the teacher's lounge fridge that we can get. It's like you leave 25-cent donation and you take a drink, and I think it's like, well, no, it's 25 cents for water, 50 cents for like pop and sparkling waters and things, and then there's a couple others like fruit drinks or smoothie little things that are a little bit I think 75 cents. There's basically a suggested donation. It's really funny because usually teachers and staff will, it's funny because nobody means to, but you get in a hurry, you're busy, so usually you'll see like once a month or every 2 months or something, someone will bring in like a 20 and leave it in the thing because they didn't have 25 cents on them at the time, but everybody always ends up bringing in like a 20 or 25 or something like that to cover their their expenses. But anyways, I'll probably take in some tea just because sometimes sparkling water is not enough for me. I like to have something actually flavored, but then, usually lemonade and things like that are too sweet. They have so many additives to them, so I like to take the plain iced tea. So I like both iced green tea and iced black tea, so I'll probably take a little bit of both. These ones I will not do homemade just because they're harder to put in containers and take when you have limited space. So what I'll probably do is do the pre-packaged ones. There's some really good brands out there. I would say with iced green tea, it's so annoying because unless you find the really good kind that's actually imported, or if you find you happen to get fortunate and go to a store that has a larger selection. Unfortunately, even here where green tea is popular, it's always flavored. And so it's really hard to find, because you'll find this so-called iced green tea that's supposed to be plain, but then it turns out to be like lemon flavored or with ginger, or and then it always has the flavored sweetener kind of thing in it. And it's like, that's not actually what I want. So I typically try to make my own iced green tea, which I haven't done in a while. But instead, I did find recently some good, well, my dad found some too. We've all been on the lookout for them, but iced green tea, little just like plain bottles. And so I've been taking those, and then I have the iced plain black tea as well. So those are really good, but definitely making sure they're actually plain and not flavored, because flavorings usually have a lot of extra sugar or additives to them. And then also sometimes they do have actual sugar added too. So if I do sweeten them, I usually only ever use honey. I like to use local raw honey. We have some really good places locally that have delicious honey. So I like to do that. If I'm going to sweeten it, typically I won't sweeten it. I just like plain iced tea. I know some of you are like, that is totally traitor. Don't, like, you have to drink it this way. Like, that's it's like near a religion for iced sweet tea, right? Trust me, my family likes iced sweet tea, and I'm okay with it to an extent, but I actually prefer plain iced tea. It was funny, when I was in Southeast Asia, that was what we drank most of the time, was iced green tea. And I know that's not the case everywhere, but where we were, that was all like, so I absolutely love it. That was in college. I fell in love with it. So I'm kind of bad about remembering to make my own batches of it, but when I can, I do like to prefer to make homemade, because then you can pick the kind of green tea you want, because there's so many different types of green tea. Some are very light and earthy, some are very heavy, or not heavy, but they're very strong, much more they're less floral. I guess I should have said that the other way. Some are very light and florally tasting. Some are very heavy and earthy tasting. I happen to like both, but a lot of people don't like strong green tea. I love green tea. There's also so many other kinds of iced tea you can make. Oolong makes really good ones. Any kind of, herbal blend can make really good iced tea. I mean, even though it's not technically tea, it's like a Tisane blend. You can do that with herbal blends, especially florals are really good iced. I really like iced floral tea. Iced rose tea is really good. I haven't had it too many times, but it's very delicate and like a light flavor, but especially when it's added in with something else, it makes a good taste. I haven't had a lot of the time recently, but I love to make my own tea blends and to blend herbs and spices together. I'm actually, so now that it's funny, I'm still unpacking at the house in a lot of ways, but one of the things I do want to add, there's a space in my laundry room where I'm kind of hoping to add a space for my, it's out of the sun, it's not super hot. I do have to pay attention to kind of like where the sun does when it comes down at sundown, because it could, shine in a little bit. You don't want your herbs and spices and things to be exposed to the sun in clear bottles as much. That's why, apothecaries always used to have like amber bottles to keep them from being exposed to the sun. Same thing with like essential oils. You don't want them exposed to the sun or having extreme temperature changes. That's the only problem with the laundry room where it's at. I mean, it's right next to the kitchen, but the problem is that it's also on one of the walls that in one of the areas of the house that gets either super cold in winter or super hot in the summer. And usually it's decently temperature regulated in one section of it. So I'm kind of hoping I can create a little herbal tea place where I can keep all my teas and herb blends and spices, so I can, because there's just not enough room in some of the spots in the kitchen. I'd love to do it there, but I don't have enough space. I also like to dry certain herbs sometimes, and also make different blends of different like flavored oils or tea flavors, that kind of thing. So I'm hoping to create a space for that. That's actually part of my what I consider both physical and emotional health. It's a lot of fun for me, and it's also just a kind of a practice. It's a hands-on practice, which I think is really good for health and de-stressing, and kind of that stress management. Also, it's just, tea is one of the most traditional, I mean, for thousands of years, humans have been using teas as health support. So I think it's one of the most amazing natural ways to to help boost your health. I mean, essential oils would be my top, kind of aside from supplements, essential oils would be in the top rank there, but then along with them, not far behind, would be the kind of herbal blends and spices and things you can add that promote good health and wellness overall. They can support that really well. And so, but for me, that's kind of a practice that I really enjoy. And so I've been trying to find a spot for it, and I think I actually have enough room now to do that. And so hopefully I'm looking forward to some time over Thanksgiving break and maybe over Christmas break as well to come up with some more spaces like that, and maybe even start some canning and things like that that I haven't done in a long time. I actually really never did canning much at home, mostly with other people if I was going to do it, like my grandma and that kind of thing. But I'm hoping to get back into some of those things more. Mostly I like the herbs and the blends and those kinds of things, especially with cooking, but also with teas and those sorts of things. So yeah, anyways though, so just looking, that was kind of a long way of, it was a little bit of a rabbit trail there, but yeah, as far as healthy habits this week, I definitely want to do my best to be sleeping well, because I'm going to be getting up super early and staying out really late. So I need to make sure I'm doing time management well, looking at my schedule this week and figuring out where are the times where I can make sure I'm getting other things done so that it's not, being done all at once, right when I have no time and need to go to bed. Also with stress management. Week of the play, it's always super fun, but there's definitely those moments of stress. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is not done. We still have to do this. Oh, we forgot this, blah, 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 blah. So trying to do those things also ahead of time early in the week so that there's not a lot of stress related to that. We have a big order coming in on Monday, which is nice because those are the things that kind of last minute that we were like, oh yeah, we need these things. So they should be here fine, and they're mostly not needed till Thursday anyways, but that would be nice. And so yeah, just thinking through some of those things and coming up with those strategies. That's what a lot of today's been. And then just looking forward to having a really good week, fun week. I'm super excited. Play week is awesome. It's super fun. I'm really hoping my family can all get to come and some of my friends, but it's gonna be a really fun time, and they've put so much work in. And Friday was hilarious. Rehearsal was so much fun. Because of my health, I've had to miss quite a few rehearsals this semester, and I was really hoping not to. Unfortunately, it's inevitable. Sometimes you have to, pick and choose those places where you can, and every time I've had a choice, I've tried to go in and things, but there's definitely been times where it's been outside of my realm of choice, where I've not been able to go in. And so, Friday rehearsal was just super fun though. They were hilarious. I ended up stepping in for one of our actresses who is gone till next week, or the beginning of next week. And it was fun to read through the parts and get to do a little bit of acting and hang out with them and be up there on stage with them and help them out rehearsing. And so, yeah, but anyways, I'm super excited and I hope this week goes well. And tomorrow is my, oh goodness, is it my 8-week check-in? Or is it 9-week check-in? Wow, it's, I think, my 8-week check-in. Wow, goodness. Anyways, it took me a minute to process through how long it's been. That's awesome, though. So I'm excited. I will hopefully share more tomorrow with that check-in, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.